and welcome back to The Couch. I'm Rosie Jenner, and today I'm going to be doing a review of The Honeys because I literally just finished it. You might have seen on my Instagram story I was kind of live reacting from 27, or maybe chapter 25 onwards. It's currently midnight, so excuse me if I yawn. I am actually feeling tired tonight, and I have thoughts. So I saw this book recommended by Lizzie Huxley, who is the author of Make You Mine This Christmas, Stim, a few other anthologies, and they have a lot of children's work coming out that next year, and they're just a glorious person, and I really wanted to see what the hype was about because they have a good taste in books, and I was like, okay, this sounds right up my alley. If you know me, I have had an affinity for bees my entire life. I have wanted to be a beekeeper my entire life. I've had a strange obsession with apiaries and horticulture and the culture of bees and the behaviors of bees my whole life. I'm also a huge lover of cults. I don't think that's really a spoiler at this point because in the blurb it sort of details this rich kid's camp, and if you know anything about like these camps that rich people go to, like the one that all the presidents have gone to, for example, you'll know that they're kind of culty, so it has that vibe. So when I heard about this book, and then I heard that it was extremely gay and non-binary and representing, I was like, oh my god, is everything that I love coming together? And I cannot believe it, so I have to do at least a short review right now. I don't know when I'm going to release it because I said I was done with my recordings for the year. I said I'd only reached halfway my goal, and now I'm trying to read as many books as possible, so who knows, there might be more. But I need to tell you about this book. I need to tell you about it. I will try and keep it as spoiler free as possible so that you can get a good taste of honey and then go and read it for yourself, which is why I'm going to try and keep this short. I have no words. As you can probably tell, I have no words for how exceptional this book was. In my wrap up, or in my Good Couch Book Awards, I said that my favourite book of the year was The Seas by Samantha Hunt, and that a very close second was The Change by Kirsten Miller. I do not know where the honeys lie because it was so good. Those two books quickly made their way into my top 5 books of all time, and the honeys went straight in there, and I feel like I need to reread every single book that I read this year just so that I can confirm with myself that the honeys really was that good. In fact, I might need to read every single book that has ever made it into my top 10 list just to make sure that this book is as phenomenal as I think it is. A lot of books that end up in my top 10, I can think of one or two things that I didn't like about it. This one I can't. Actually, that's a lie. The Seas, I couldn't find anything wrong with it. The Change could have maybe been shorter, and you know, there was sort of, okay, they are still privileged. This is so profoundly good, and I know that there is that element of rich culture and being up there and all of that, but it makes it more interesting, and it doesn't try to, like, I don't know, it has this great commentary on how you can't lose yourself from coming from nothing, which I think The Change sort of missed out on. I just don't know how to describe this book. Basically, this person called, or who likes to be called Mars, goes to a camp after their sister returns home. Mysterious things happen. He wants or they or she, whatever pronouns you want to use for them, apparently, for this character, they basically decide to go to the camp to get answers. And they discover these group of elite girls called the Honeys. These girls are so phenomenal. Every single character in this book, even if they are like lightly touched on, or you don't really get to know them, has so much to give to the story. Every single moment in this book, I thought while I was reading it, I was like, is this filler? But actually, no. I was getting to know every single character. I was getting to know the web that they were spinning. And in the last 10 chapters, there were things that came up that I'd almost forgotten about, which ended up being so significant. Like, oh my god, I can't even explain it properly without you reading the book and me giving spoilers. But things come back in the end that you wouldn't expect to be relevant. And so many things just happen in the last 10 chapters. So initially I thought it was sort of over around 30 chapters. There were 6 chapters left. I was like, okay, this is great, blah 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 blah. We've had a load of plot twists, there can't possibly be more. And then there was more. It just kept going. And I was like, oh my god, this book was a roller coaster from the start. Absolutely brilliant at the start. Then absolutely brilliant commentary about, finding yourself, making sacrifices. What does it mean to be part of a community? What does it mean to stay yourself? What does it mean if you have to let yourself go? The whole camp is just so enjoyable, even though it's meant to be like a horrible time for Mars. They almost acclimatize sometimes, and then there's like a downfall, and then they almost acclimatize, and then they don't. And honestly, the way that the camp is set, it feels like you're there, and it's just so enjoyable to be there, even if it's a bit like, god, I hate these guys and I'm in love with these girls. And then everything happens. Everything. But it's not in a way that isn't called for. It's the perfect timing, the perfect build-up. You have learned as much as you possibly could about these characters. You have come to learn who they are and why they act in the way they do, and it works so perfectly in the end. I feel like none of the characters actually end up, unless it's, a shock, none of them end up losing who they are as a person, which is such a core theme throughout the book. A little bit of a spoiler, I did feel that Mars sort of let themselves fit a mold sort of at the ending, but the sort of the commentary that Ryan LaSala gives, I keep saying Ryan LaSalsa, I'm so sorry. The commentary that they give is so fascinating and captivating that it works. I'm not even sure that I'm gonna release this as a podcast episode, because this is me being wordless and breathless, but I feel that if I'm gonna make a review about one book that I thought was one of the best, that I should make this one, because The Honeys is one of the best books I've ever read. And I've read a lot of books, especially with these themes. Yeah. Where are my words going? 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. Brilliant premise, brilliant from start to finish. Every single moment was perfect. There was a moment in it where I was like, this feels like Wednesday, the series that just came out. And when you get to it, you'll be like, oh my god. And then you'll think, did Tim Burton read this book? Because it's so perfect. It's just incredible. Oh my goodness. And yeah, obviously I hyperfixated on this book the whole time I was reading it. Which, by the way, the audiobook has great production. It has like sound effects, like bee sounds and laughing and like birds and stuff. So good. My goodness. I'm so glad that they put that much effort into it. I listened to it on Scribd. Or Scribd, as I used to call it. Yeah, so I read sort of into Ryan's past and why they wrote it this way and why they wrote it in the beginning. And they sort of described the loss of their sister in 2018 and trying to culminate their grief into something. And honestly, this book is a gift. And I hope that they know that what they have given us is such a work of art. And the way that they talk about their sister, I bet she was too. And I bet that this book is so brilliant because it is sculpted around someone so beautiful. I am gobsmacked. I am enchanted. I wish there was more, but I know there can't be, and I'm glad for it. And I have no more words. So, if you ever listen to this, I really hope you check out The Honeys by Ryan LaSala. If I don't publish this, then this is a note to me to say, keep it in your top 5 books, and if you find anything that matches it, girl, tell the world about that. So I hope you have enjoyed this weird little straightaway rant at midnight about The Honeys. I really hope that you enjoy it. I'm sorry that this is basically a 12-minute long advert. And I will see you again in the next one. Bye!